The struggle from day to day, it's daunting.
I never thought it was going to come to this.
I felt like a failure.
It was just me and my cat, and I just parked in an alley, and we're kind of isolated.
You get depressed, you get sad, because you think nobody cares.
It's hard for people to ask for help. You know, that's just the way it is.
Many people are not homeless by choice. There are many people in our community right now who are one paycheck away from being homeless. Arcata House Partnership is a homeless service provider that provides service throughout the county to people who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless.
I think housing is an absolute necessity, and we have lack of housing.
Most of the people we serve are people like you and I who have had medical bills that are out of control and they just can't pay them, whose rents have been increased dramatically over the last 2 years, and some people just can't afford to pay the rent anymore. And so they're sleeping in their cars, they're sleeping in tents, they're sleeping at the marsh, and they're coming to us for food support and assistance. We are serving more people than ever who are hungry and more people than ever who are homeless. The numbers aren't going down.
It's a crisis, and it's not just Arcata and Humboldt County, it's California and the rest of the nation.
Homelessness is an environmental issue, a healthcare issue, a business issue, a tourist issue. All of those things are affected by homelessness.
Business owners oftentimes will cite, losses in revenue and a decrease in foot traffic.
People see a lot of people who are homeless hanging out outside of your store, then probably they're not going to feel so comfortable going into your store. But what people don't understand is often those people who are outside of your store could be helped and could be moved along to permanent housing if we had an opportunity.
So, there's certainly a financial impact. There's an impact on a feeling of safety and security. And there's just an overall impact on the health and vitality of our city.
The face of the homeless that we're seeing is not just the person who is talking to themselves on the plaza. It's really about the person sitting next to you who is at your job, or the student who's sitting next to your child in school, and you just don't know that they're homeless and that vulnerable.
A huge part of our houselessness in our community is students. Oftentimes they end up in their cars. They end up couch surfing. I know when I was houseless and I was in my car, I looked like I was camping with my daughter.
I've been homeless myself, and I understand what it feels like that comes with being homeless and not having a place to call your own. The average age of the person on the street is drastically increasing. First-time homelessness for people over 50, over 60, it's really mind-boggling.
We couldn't afford the rent without a roommate, and we couldn't find the right roommate, so we lost the apartment. We ended up homeless. You struggle from day to day. You're not only worried about today, but you're worried about tomorrow and where you're going to go and where you're going to get that meal and if you're going to get that meal. Dumpster diving doesn't become apparent until you're homeless. You can't find a meal, and then all of a sudden a dumpster looks good. And you think, wow, I never thought I'd ever do that. But you're there and you're doing it.
It's not going to get any better unless we collectively make a decision to make it better.
There's a tremendous amount of hope as we're facing people who have no hope.
Arcata House Partnership has been fortunate to receive a grant for a Home Key 2 project. We're calling that the Grove. It's for a 60-unit apartment complex to provide permanent housing for people who are homeless. Homelessness can be cured. The solution to homelessness is housing.
homeless situation is more in need of attention than it ever has been. What are people doing? Well, they're working tirelessly. They're working 60 hours a week. They're trying to get things done. If this is carpet from 1992, it's gone. We're gonna get it out of here. Kitchenette unit will be over there. We'll have a kitchen, we'll have a bathroom, we'll have storage, they'll have a sofa chair, they'll have a full-size bed. Really trying to provide a clean living space for the tenants to move into.
The permanent housing that will be at the Grove is 60 units of affordable housing. To qualify, people have to be homeless and have to be low income. We are going to be prioritizing the most vulnerable citizens in our community. The people who are chronically homeless, the people who have disabilities and it's really dangerous for them to be sleeping outside, the people who haven't been homeless before and just don't know how to do it, like the 80-year-old woman who calls and says, I don't know how to be homeless. So we will be prioritizing those people and they will be offered an apartment first.
It's permanent supportive housing. And it gives people the will to live because all they have left is the will to survive. You know, that's who we're housing, our survivors.
We come with no judgment, and I think that's what's important. Over 50% of our staff have currently or recently been homeless. They have lived experience and they understand what it's like to be out there. We want to make sure that the services we're providing people are the services they need, the services they want, and the services that are available in our community. Homelessness is expensive for cities. It's expensive for towns. It's expensive for communities.
The impacts are tremendous in quality of life, especially for local businesses. But, you know, there's a true spirit of collaboration here in the region to do all that we can to get people off the streets.
We hope by providing housing for 60 people or 60 families that we will reduce the needs of the emergency rooms, the needs to call law enforcement, the needs to put people in jail who are homeless. There will be a positive effect on our communities, and that effect will reduce the service needs in all of those other areas.
It's not going to happen overnight, but I think the Grove really is a shining example of the possibilities that exist in a community like Arcata, where there's such a spirit of collaboration and compassion. I think we're all working toward the same goal.
This gated community has 24-hour on-site staff. It has case managers who will be available to help people as they transition from being homeless to being housed. It'll have a community room, it'll have on-site laundry and other amenities to make it just a wonderful place to live. When people are homeless, they don't generally have a lot of possessions. So this project will provide a furnished apartment, will provide people with sheets and towels and shampoo and pans for their stove and a refrigerator to put their food in. All of those things that you and I take for granted and people who are homeless don't have access to.
I think the Grove is the next step in affirming that we're doing the right thing.
The solution to homelessness is housing. The governor has recognized that and has put funds forward to address these issues. And we are grateful that the Grove is one of those projects. Arcata House Partnership believes that housing is a human right. Welcome to the Grove. This 60-unit apartment complex will provide housing to people who are at the lowest levels of income and who are homeless. We are so honored to present to you the Grove.
It means a lot. It means a great deal.
But yeah, this place is very important to me. It's very cool, a new beginning.
Something I couldn't believe, that I would ever get support at my age.
Today, people are moving in. It's cold, it's wet. By the end of Sunday, 60 people will be off the streets and in their own apartments with their own heat and their own bed and their own hot showers.
Going to get the first move-ins for the Grove.
Yeah, check it in the shower and then the dog, and then we have a little hot box to put people's items in just to make sure there's no bugs or anything like that, and then get them into their room.
Exciting day.
It is exciting. The gamut of emotions will be seen,
Yes.
felt, and demonstrated.
Congratulations, we are so proud of you. Are you okay with this? Okay, great.
Here's your key to your room, and here's a $25 gift card to get you started.
Good, because I can go through some.
That is to raise food.
People are getting the kind of service they need that they could never get when they were homeless, because you have to have an address.
That's a good gift.
This is awesome.
Oh, that's good.
People are starting to take ownership here, and they're doing it in amazing ways. They're asking for a garden. They're asking for art supplies. They're being involved in community activities. They're getting mail at their address for the first time in years.
I don't have to live in a shelter anymore. Now I'm thriving.
It's amazing. It's like a miracle. It's a miracle.
The most magnificent part of being here is the individuals gave me an opportunity for me to sit and hear my own inner voice and my own heartbeat.
I'm very grateful. This is a beautiful place to be.
What I see the Grove doing for the residents is giving them a sense of belonging, a place to call their own.
I can't be more proud. I am absolutely beside myself with joy. The day that people moved in, people were crying when we gave them their keys. People who haven't been housed in 40 years have a place to stay.
I think 60 people at the Grove, those are 60 people every night who are not on the streets and the sidewalks in our immediate area. That is a huge benefit, and I think any progress is good progress. But our work is far from over, and we need to continue to work alongside our community members, our business partners, our elected officials, and leaders from throughout the region.
It's just amazing, really. The city stepped up in a lot of ways to help us get this done.
I am so proud of our staff who have worked diligently over the last 4 weeks to get this project up and running. People didn't believe that we could do it. So thank you to all of our staff. Thank you to the community for your support. And most of all, thank you to all of the people who believed that they were going to have a great place to live tonight.
I think the Grove is the next step in affirming that we're doing the right thing.
Housing is the first step. We're housing first. Then we connect people with services, and we help people to build a new, healthy community, one that's going to sustain them in their long-term housing goals.